Hello, everybody. We're going to start the stream off with our intro. I hope everybody's having a good day. Let's get the show on the road. All right, here we go. Got to pull the right thing up. Okay, everybody. I'm going to take that down off the screen. How's everybody doing today? I got to turn on my light because we do have a thunderstorm coming in. So give me 1 second. And I did put the link out. Only if you're going to be sensible and respectful and common sense, you may come up. Other than that, if you want to start a fight, go somewhere else. Give me 1 second here. I'm thinking of something. I'm trying to find something. There it is. Okay. Sorry about that, folks, but it's getting kind of dark. Got a thunderstorm coming in. All right. Now, since we got this all cleared up, and Everett, y'all lazy who? Can't forget that. All right. Now, let me go back into this. Okay, yeah. Now, I know on Wednesday we were doing the haunted stuff. We're going to finish that up today. We're going to try to get it finished up and have it, so that way we get done. And then after that, we'll be good for whatever we want to do next, which I'm still thinking about, but we'll get through it. Okay, so we left off at number 7, which was the Dock Street Theater in Charleston, South Carolina. Okay, now this was located back in, like I said, Charleston, South Carolina. It was a histrionic French Quarter neighborhood. The Dock Street Theater opened back in 1736. Now, the theater has had every music person in there that they would allow. They had they did the emperor, the opera. They did other songs. I mean, it was really nice. And inside it was really nice too. Small, but nice. Okay, so it was opened back in 1736. And while the original building was destroyed by a fire just 4 years later, the theater got a second grand opening in 1937. Now, they still don't realize or don't know what happened, what caused the fire. They're saying it was electrical issues, I guess, or something like that. But I don't know. They aren't talking about the fire too much on the original website of it. All they're doing is making it that, they're making it like it was, an art that was playing fire. But it could have been arsenal. Who never know, who knows? But then it's like I said, after about a year, they reformatted it and it looks really nice. They keep it up to date on what they do and make sure that everything's running, there's no problems. And a third time they did another grand opening was back in 2010. After full scale revolution, in other words, what they did was replace the stuff that was getting old, that was getting tiring, that stuff. What they did was they kept the style, but they updated it, make it look original, more original as it has been. Okay. After a full-scale revenue, with such a long and rich history, it's no surprise that ghosts reportedly roaming the area. Now, they say in the theater that there's ghosts downstairs, a man dressed in the top hat, the coat, the long, one of the ancient times of the coat with the tail at the end of it. And then also they do, they said they'd seen him there. He was smoking a pipe, but he watched girls. And they could hear him walking back and forth. Now, he supposedly, from what I understand from the history on it, especially when the ghost hunters went in there, it said that he was part of the activity of people, of the people that burned this place down. So, I mean, it's like a big thing. And they also have, I mean, this from my knowledge, and it's like I said, everything we read over here from Wednesday to and today. If you're not sure about something, Google it. There's nothing wrong with Google. I ain't saying I'm a professional. I'm not saying that. I'm just putting content out. And actually, really interested in it. And I want to make sure I'm reading the right information I have in front of me. Not just down to the now. We're doing it the right way here. Okay, now it's no surprise that the ghosts repeatedly roam the area. Theater goers have claimed to see spirits, ghostly shadows, apparitions on the stairs, which there is one app- apparition that is standing up on the stair. It's a woman in white, and she's dressed up in a costume, being waiting, to do her part. And apparently, from my understanding, is she lost her footing and and she went over the side of the railing and went down on her, down to the floor, and she didn't survive. So that's that. All right. Okay. But two ghosts. Okay, there's two ghosts in particular standing out. With was Julius Booth and Nettie Booth. Booth was believed to be the father of the infamous president, yeah, presidential assassin John Winks Booth. So they think that both Julius and Nettie were related to him. That's what they got back in their records back in whatever date they were born. They don't say when, it doesn't even show on the original thing when they were born. So, yeah. So I was looking all this stuff up because I was, making sure. But they're not showing it in there. Even then, when I looked in the wiki, it wasn't showing. Okay. Though he was nowhere near Charleston when he passed, and Nettie is believed to be a sex worker who frequently stayed at the hotel once, stood where the new theater does. So, yeah, there was also, thank you, I almost forgot about that one. So, yeah, there used to be working women, back in the days, that's the thing that they did. They didn't have no law against it, none of that. So she was pretty much a worker at entertaining the guys, stuff like that. And there was a lot of stuff back in the days that, was allowed then that it isn't now. So, yeah, that's what we're going to go with there. But I mean, if you ever do visit Charleston at that, South Dakota, and you do go to the Dock Street Theater, it's really nice inside. And you do, sometimes you do end up feeling a sense of something looking around. I mean, it's amazing. Okay, here's my favorite. I know we did a little bit on this. It's Gettysburg National Military Park in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, my hometown. Well, Pennsylvania is my home state, not my hometown, but my home state. But Gettysburg, there are so many stories. I mean, from the war, you can still hear the gunshots from the war. Now, they do have a camera up. I don't know if they recently put it back up because people were trying to force for the statues over there to be pulled down and stuff like that due to hits, thinking that it's cruel to history. But those statues, I think, should be staying up all around every state. That's part of history our kids never knew about. And your newer generations probably never seen. But those are statues of history. What our war was like and stuff like that. But once they have the big camera up, go in and watch it, especially at night. You get to hear gunfire. Sometimes you'll see apparition of a silhouette going, and fighting, actually going down on their knee, and shooting their gun. Because back then they had one of those long guns and had the point. And yeah, it was not pretty. That was, oh my gosh, that was the Civil War that you don't want to ever disrespect. Especially that place you don't want to disrespect. Because there's like 51 million men that are out there buried. You don't want to walk going there and disrespect. Because you do that, no, trust me, you ain't gonna like it. All right, let's read this. It says Gettysburg's witnessed the deadliest battle of the Civil War with more than 51,000. Okay, 51,000 men meeting their fate over a course of 3 days of 3-day conflict. Since most of the soldiers were never given a proper burial, it is believed that their soul still haunts the current Gettysburg National Military Park. And yeah, it does. It actually does. I mean, you get down to the old bridge. I mean, no, wait a minute. Before you get down to the bridge, if you go over to the lantern, they have like 2 different lanterns glowing. If you go in there and you see the lantern, please pay respect to it, salute it, because that's one area where they didn't get a proper. That's one of the areas that was fought, and they didn't get a proper burial. So every now and then, it's like I said, if you take pictures and stuff, you actually will see like either an apparition or something different that wasn't there before. The second part takes around the statue of the horse. You see, you can, sometimes it's been reported that people have seen the soldiers walking by there, the apparitions, the different kind of stuff that people that don't believe in it will sit there and go, want to try to mock it or something like that. You don't mock these ghosts, these spirits. They fought to keep our country civil, keep our country alive. Not more than some people, some people like to do. But yeah, they're still around, and there's 2 things. They have the underground bridge, which is at the end of the Gettysburg Park. It's way back there, though. You got to drive and stuff. It's like way down in the back of the cemetery. There's a bridge that's actually coal miners went into and dug, and then they'll come back out when they had to get air and stuff like that. There was actually, and there's been proof with the video that it was accepted. That they caught him via an apparition coming out of it, coal miner. And then beside the coal miner, outside of it, You see, I mean, it was weird because you see the coal miner coming out of the underneath the bridge there, and then you see a soldier, and they kind of like stopped, looked at each other, nodded, and then went on their way. The soldier was going this way, and miner was going, like towards me. So that is one. I mean, it's weird, but it's cool, but it's weird. And then you got, if we get down the way, you got another bridge. It's the old, I forget what the bridge is called now. It's the old barn. Oh, the old barn bridge. There, and which I have caught some on video, actually on my Facebook, and my best friend has it on her Facebook too. But as I was saying, with this, it's I've caught apparition. I've caught sound. I've caught, someone talking, whispering. I've caught a lot of things in that area. And it's like when you walk out off the bridge, I was walking back to my friend's car, and then I heard somebody walking on the bridge, and I thought, okay, I thought it was the other couple that was in there, but they already were inside the car. So I turn around and see who it is, and there's nobody there. But you hear somebody walking on that bridge. It's the Woodwood Creek. So yeah, that was the experience. And that was during the dark, right when it got dusk. So yeah, pretty cool. Okay, and also there's Devil's Den. It's a cave, but you do actually hear growling coming out of that cave. It's not no bear, no nothing like that. Actually growling. And this time my friend, my best friend was with me, my husband was with me, and of course my best friend's son, because he likes going on, like trips to see different things. My friend, that's one thing I will give my friend. She will make sure her son knows the history that they aren't teaching in school. And they aren't taking the kids too hardly anymore. So she's been making sure he gets a piece of history of everything. So that's one thing I'm proud about my friend. It's really, it's like, wow. But my husband caught a picture of something moving. He went to take another, he took three of them. One was a plain one. Took a second one. There you see something. I can't explain what it is. But it blurred the whole camera. And then the third one, he took again, back to normal. So, yeah, I mean, there's so many unexplained stuff. Hi, Blue Eyes. How you doing, sweetheart? How you doing? Talking about the different scariest things, like the top 50 scariest things around the world. Places, that is. That's good. That's good. I was wondering about you. I haven't seen you for so long, girl. Yes. Okay, we're moving on to number 9 of St. Augustine Lighthouse in St. Augustine, Florida. Now, I've seen this lighthouse, not personally, but from when my friend was showing me when she was down there. And it's scary. Let alone, I mean, it stands yay how high, And I'm afraid of heights, which is weird. With that, I'm afraid of heights if I try to go up there and stand on the very top. Were you at Blue Eyes? But I'm scared of heights. I would literally freeze and start screaming. No joke. Hell, I sat there at Hershey Park Stadium up in the nosebleed section and I screamed. Is it? Nobody's really gone further than the lighthouse. I didn't realize that whole town was. But it says here, while the St. Augustine Lighthouse is visited by thousands of guests, revealing in its beauty beautiful each year, there are a few visitors who stop by to catch a glimpse of the spirits that are said to haunt the premises. They will take you on a tour of where people have seen ghosts. Oh, wow. That's cool. If I ever go to Florida, I'll have to check it out. Oh, dang. If I ever, that's on my bucket list. If I ever get to be down to Florida, that's one of the places I want to have tour that area. Get a tour booked up. I like haunted stuff. Oh, back when me and Nuckins were working together, how we both did paranormal shit. And I helped her out. Okay. It says due to high. Okay. Let me see here. There are visitors who stop by to catch a glimpse of the spirits that are sending to haunt, or are said to haunt the premises due to the high number of tragic events that have taken place there since it was built in 1871. Damn! That's been built, wow, that long? And it says also, for example, in 1859, one lighthouse keeper fell to his death. That's the one they were talking about. That if you look, if you go inside the lighthouse, and you look straight up the stairwell before you even going all the way up, you can see a gentleman hanging his body overlooking, and apparently he ends up, and apparently goes out the door and ends up doing the same thing. I guess outside, but his body goes down into the ocean, smacks down on the rocks. He never survived. But and he also, well, from what it says here, it says while watching the whitewashing the building, and in 1873, three children to whom were the foreman's kids died in a freak accident after a cart they were playing in broke and leaving them trapped, according to. Is it? Well, that's what it's saying here. The town's beautiful, and so is the lighthouse. Like I said, that's on my bucket list. and leaving them trapped, according to the St. Augustine records. Wow. Oh, I pity them kids. There's so much of that's happened in this place. Wow. Now guests have reported spotting those unfortunate souls roaming the vacancy. One tour guide told the St. Augustine Record in 2014 that that I've had a few arms hairs plucked off. Did that pop up? Okay, few arms plucked off me in the basement of the keeper's house. Rather recently, I had my ankle grabbed. That was pretty amusing since it was in the middle of our tour. So I looked like I was randomly tripping over air. So a lot of these people were too scared to say what exactly happened to him, except for this tour guide. Not only there was hair plucking off the arms, there was also hair pulling. There was also tugging on the shirts and some faded, depending. And it's like I said with the tripping, that is like wow. But then again, when you think of the tripping one, you would think maybe it's those kids, the souls of those three kids that didn't make it, and they were trying to reach out, trying to get somebody to help them, pull them out where they were. That's one thing that's, pretty cool. Yes, I know you hear my birds in the background. I can't help it. I have this set, the way I need it. Okay. But yeah, that's a nice place to go to if you ever go down to Florida. Or if you live in Florida and never heard of this, go down to it. It's pretty interesting and it's pretty neat. Okay, number 10. Trans Trans Allegheny Lunatic Asylum, Western Winston, West Virginia. Now this one here, I've heard stories about it. I've seen documentaries on TV. I've seen, this one here. This one here, I'm actually would be afraid to go in. I wouldn't be afraid to go into Penhurst, but this one I would be. Penhurst was nothing because the one building that would have been the scariest one to go in is not doesn't exist anymore. It's all rubble. Okay, ever since the Allegheny Lunatic Asylum opened in 1864, hundreds of patients have died in conditions that were deemed inhuman. At one point, let me get some drink here, my third time. At one time, during the late 1950s, 2,400 patients were cramped into this facility. Okay. uh, into a facility which was meant for just 250 people. Now imagine you're literally up against each other. You're lucky if you can turn. And if someone's got to go to the bathroom and they end up peeing on you or pooping on you accidentally, you can't do nothing about it. Like I said, back then there were these people getting locked up. A lot of them that were criminals was locked in this this asylum more than that there needed to be. The asylum, which closed in 1994, also reportedly performed lobotomies and electric shock therapy. Now, back then, if anybody known about it, they didn't have what they have out now with medications, different types of medication for different things. Um, give me a second here. Different medications and stuff like that, or they put you in a self-induced, into a coma, self-induced coma to knock you out. Not back in those days. Those days they put these things. They had you bite on like a one of those either thumb, the thing that they use on your tongue when you open up your tongue and you want to look down your throat. They had you bite on that. They made sure it was tapped and tape, thick tap about like that size. Oh no, like that size. And did I freeze? Can you all hear me? Can you all hear me? Ah, I'm froze. Be right back. Shouldn't be fucking hot. Sorry about that, folks. Sorry. My computer is being it wet. Share screen. Okay. Let's get that. Okay, guys. We're back now. Ah, that number went in. Again. I'm getting real. Okay. Yeah, just give me a second, please. Hold on. Okay, there's that. Shit. Okay, there we go. That part's back. Let's go back into here. All right. We were at, okay, I was saying with anomalies, the electric shock therapy. So what they do is, it's like I said, they had, let me put this down so you can see me better. There we go. So what they did was they had that thick, that tongue depressor. And with the tongue depressor, they wrap it up in tape, just regular tape. So it's like that thick. They put it in the person's mouth, have it wedged back, and have it like taped along there, along their cheeks. And the only reason why I know this because a couple of people I used to take care of told me that what they went through. So, and that was one of them. And then they put these two pedals, the kind like the sticker ones that they put on you for checking your heart, your EKG, something like to use it in. So with that, so with that, a lot of people, I don't like that. but that's what they used for their therapies back in the days. Because they would shock these people till they're, I mean, literally till their brain fried, just about fried. So they would get the behavior out of them that they persistently thought they had. So, yeah, wasn't no fun. It really wasn't. Let's see. So, so they use those on its patients. Perhaps that's why rumors has it that former patients of trans Alany local asylum appear as shadowy figures, forever curses on the premises. Now it was said that the Wiccan witches used to sacrifice animals on this, at this place at the lunatic asylum. They also have also said they, a lot of the witches did like, a saying to curse the place. Now I know on the one, it was like the fourth floor is where I think they had kids, and there would be on that fourth floor toys out, different stuff like that. That every now and then, if you walk through it, you can maybe at one point see a car moving or a ball. I mean, ball. You sometimes see the little kids, like, shadow running right by the wall or by your corner of your eye when you're walking by a door. The sixth floor was for the ones that were way out of, like yoo-hoo, and with a lot of dementia and stuff. The fourth, third, or the third floor was for infected people that were infected. And the first and second floor were the first, second, and sixth floor were the criminals. And to this day, you can actually see it. You can see, like, if you walk through, you can see, like, sometimes you'll get like a scratch on those different floors. But yeah, I mean, there was a lot of like really bad experiences in there. Okay. Let's see, what time is it? Okay, we have time for this one, then we're going to take a break. Okay. All right. Lebanon, Moon River Brewing Company in Savannah, Georgia. And yes, this place used to brew beer, moonshine, old whiskey, the old whiskeys, before they start calling them JD and stuff like that. They've done everything in there. And then it got changed over a couple of different times. First, it was a brewery. Then that got shut down. Then it came a place for like patients, making it like a home thing. And then also, they also made it like let's see. Then they made it back into like a hospital for the soldiers. Because back then, the soldiers would come down with like the yellow fever, different stuff like that. So let's take a reading into this, see what it all says in here. The Moon River Brew Company originated open as a hotel. Okay. My bad. I thought it was still a brewery in the beginning, but no, it was a hotel. So that was my bad. Originally opened as a hotel in 1821 until it was converted into a midship hospital for yellow fever patients during the Civil War. Many people believe those yellow fever patients, which they want to call them yellow fever patients, they want to say it was scarlet fever, um, your liver iodines, different stuff like that. Oh, wow. Okay. The majority of them were children. Still haunt the second floor of what's now a popular brewery company. Wow. It's like I said, they've gone back and forth, so there's a lot more. Okay, it also says here on the second floor of what's now the popular brewery company. Unfortunately, visitors can't seem to drink their beer in peace without poor guys taunting them. In other words, stuff moving around, glasses, up above, the bar there. Would because they had one side was the bar area. The upstairs was like still like a hotel like, and then the other side was just like the dining area. And then in the way back of it, they had like a stream, like a little lake, and then they had on each side they had different sheds to make in different brewers, different whiskey, different stuff like that. Okay, stick to the main level to avoid the non-alcoholic spirits at this establishment. So yeah, this establishment was very, very haunted. You had to watch what you had to do and stuff. There's plenty of ghost, like ghost hunters did this place. Um, I want to say, oh, and I can't think of them. Mortal Brothers, I think they were called. I don't know. They were at where my mom used to work at up at the farm show. They were doing the buildings out there in Harrisburg, and they end up doing this place. Um, there was also different other ghost adventures. Different other paranormal groups that did this. I think the G team did this too. So yeah, there's different ones. So when we get back here, we'll move on to number 12. So we're going to take a break, and I will be back.
Be right back. Stand up, stretch your legs, move around, go bathroom, refill your drinks. Get a sneak. 'Cause when I come back, we are gonna come topics. Be right back. Stand up, stretch your legs, move around, go bathroom, refill your drinks. Get a sneak. 'Cause when I come back, we are gonna continue to have fun and continue topics.
All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. It's a little bit, I thought I had a little bit longer there. I had to go to the bathroom, so I do apologize. I'm trying to straighten my chair out here. I seen earlier it was like moved to a different side, and I just want to make sure we have my head in it. So here we go. Hi. All right, we're getting back to doing number 12 here. This is a place I love hearing about. I don't know why. I do. It always interests me. Number 12 is the Myrtles Plantation, St. Franceville, Louisiana. Now, I was in Louisiana once when I went down to visit my uncle. This is back when I was like 15, 16 years old. I went down to visit for the summer. And he had a play. He went to this place where he played at down there. And he would never take me over to the Myrtle Plantation. I don't know why. But I thought that'd be kind of cool place to look at. But I guess he thought different because I was a minor at the time. So, anyway. All right, let's go on to this here. Now, the Myrtle Plantation, this is a building that's been there for a pretty long time. They keep up to date with the, proper inspections and proper, what it takes to keep this place running. They have it to where people can stay in there, people can visit, or they can stay overnight. Different stuff you got, as long as you don't damage anything. Because everything in that house is original. Okay. The Myrtle Foundation established in 1796. General David Bradford was actually instructed atop an notorious people's burial site. But those aren't the only spirits to see reportedly haunted the land. The most famous apparitions is that former slave named Cleo, who legend has it got her ear cut off for eavesdropping. Now, this is the part, you know, back then there was so much with the slaves and everything, they had to do stuff, and the punishments were you either got ear cut off, fingers, back beat with a belt, a whip, you name it. Back then there weren't like the laws like they are today. But there's still some states that still believe in doing that. One is Alabama. Number 2 is Missouri. And there's a third state. I don't know. I really haven't found the third state yet. I have to see if I can look in more of the public records, see what the third state was. Those states there still believe in it. I don't think it's right. And I don't, believe in that crap. Because we're all human. And I'm going to keep saying it. We all do the same thing. We all believe red. I don't believe in, the racists and stuff like that. Because we're all human. We should be all working together, not working against. But people don't like to do that. People want... I can honestly say that some people have trouble of moving forward with it because of what they were told when they were young and stuff like that. I was always taught, doesn't matter what color you are, you're still a human being. And if you let those words bother you, then you're never going to move forward. That means you're not going to let it go. Well, something's got to give because, we all want to move forward, and all we're doing is moving backwards. We're going back to where our great-grandparents lived through. Not what it is now. And I hate it. Something like that, yes. You're right, Caesar. Something like that. But I wasn't doing it. Attack anybody. And nobody wants to understand that. I had a different way of handling stuff. And stuff that maybe got misunderstood or misunderstood, but that's how I am. Because that's my way of not letting it bother me. Trying not to let it bother me and moving forward. You know what? No, because I'm wanting to make a point to people. Showing you the difference of someone that is and someone that's not. And he sat there on Wednesday and but the thing is, you're sitting there, you're trying to do the right thing. I have a way of doing different. I have ways different than what you guys do it. And nobody seems to want to understand that. And it's because I was raised the way I was raised. That's all I gotta say. I apologize if it bothered Dana. I really do. But I didn't bring it back into the thing. because I didn't want to bother anybody with it. And I've got told so many times, oh, well, let's not worry about it. That's our problem. That's not ours. And then turn around and when it explode because I wasn't bringing it back to your channel. I was leaving it stay on his channel and let it be. Some people do that. She can watch this and she can see. I'm not doing any interviews. Don't need to. But truly in my heart, I never disrespected Dina. I'm proud of what she's doing. You gotta understand that. I am, skip the path. Now, if I was beside her and someone was doing that when I was right beside her or something, that she was right there, yes, I would have spoke up. But she wasn't there. I was there. Yeah, I didn't say anything. I just did my little laugh like I normally do. Have going on something. I believe everybody is human. Don't move from. It's like a word is a word. Then pushing back, going back to long term history. This here, when I am on, is my. She can come here and she can listen. All I am saying is I never disrespect anyone. Never have, never will, unless you give me a reason to. So that's all I gotta say. I'm gonna get back to doing with my thing I'm doing here. Do, 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 do. Okay, so these back at the mortal plant here. So these spirits, you know, the spirits are still reporting to people. Today, they possibly do. Well, freaking ISIS thinks it's okay to do. Way out of control. If those are the ones you want, those are the people we should be going after. Those are the ones that should be anything. And Can you guys hear me? All right, I'm back. I'm not a coward. Because if I was a coward, I would have erased my whole account and everything else, Caesar. I didn't do that. I wouldn't be sitting up here if I was a coward. That's your choice. I can't stop you. When unsub, unsub. And I have that word blocked for a reason. Because people do act like fucking asses and want to fucking cheat when people are up here on my panel at times. But don't go there and play that fucking shit on me. All right, give me a second here, guys. I got. All right, let me get that back out. No, it's not about my chat, Caesar. It's not about in my chat. Go ahead and try to type it, Caesar. Sorry about that. My computer's acting up. But it's like I said, they can. They're helping my channel. The more they talk about me, more people come over and check me out, more people see. All they're doing is helping me out with that. Okay. Okay. All right. Now, take that down. Won't need that until like the end. Always have everything trying to be prepared. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to continue on here. Why would my channel get taken down? The only way it could be taken down is if you lie about something. There are different ways you could say it. And the thing is, I ain't racist, you dummy. Wow. Well, you like interrupting the show. Let's go, Caesar. Since you want to interrupt the show so much. Interrupt what I'm doing. Yes, you are, Caesar. That's your second fucking one, you dumbass. That's your second account. I'm not stupid. I'm not stupid, Caesar. No, I don't have it allowed here. Nobody can say it in the chat. All right? I haven't even said it on my own show. I don't say it anywhere else. People are idiots. They're just like making trouble because they think, they're scared of what I can actually do without them. They just want to try to tear somebody down, as usual, and they want to be really afraid of them. That's how they do this stuff. But they don't like when I have control of my own channel. And I can do what I want on my channel. All right. Anyway, let's continue on what I'm doing here. Okay. After that, she allegedly poisoned a birthday cake and killed two of the plantation owners, daughters, and his wife. As a result, she was hung by her feet, slaves for her crime. So, to get back, as we're just reading, get back to what this person did, she was trying to defend herself, but at the same time, she was getting at the people that hurt her. And so the best way she thought of back in that time was to poison the make a cake and poison them. So it's like two wrongs don't make a right. I don't believe that anybody should be, slaved or anything like that. That is like ignorant. I can get pissed off when I hear about the kids getting hurt and stuff. Okay, so the guests visiting the plantation these days report catching glimpses of her ghost, as well as several others who are still seeking justice for their deaths. Okay, now there's some reports on it, but they were not all confirmed on the seeing the spirits, or in that house. They hear noises, but they can't even explain that. But there's never, really solitary proof that there was a, person in that house. So that there is I would love to go out there and do it, see it myself, walk through it, ask if I could do an overnight haunted, overnight paranormal thing. But the person I would want to do it with, I would have to call back on Nuckins. Because I know that was one of Nuckins' favorite dreams to do. And that's one of my dreams, to go see this house. If I ever would ever, that's the first person I would call to do that paranormal hunt with me. All right, number 13. The Winchester Mystery House. Now, if you sit down and think about this house, this house has gone through a lot. Deaths, different, death, different kind of, entrapments. Lot of things that you wouldn't, back then you would expect, but now you'd be like, really, if something would happen. And again, the reason why I'm reading it off the thing here is because this is what I see. Y'all can pick up, the Google thing, or pull up your Google and type. You might not all, have confirmations, but it gives you an idea, and it gives you some sort of the right way. Look what you're looking for. Okay, here we go, guys. The Winchester Mysterious House in San Jose, California, which is right near you, Caesar. Hairless hairless to the Winchester repeating arm rifle fortune. In other words, it was passed down through his family. After a series of tragedies, including the death of her daughter, or Sarah's daughter, and husband, the Winchester alleged visited a psychic to ask for help. Now, this is where it gets, kind of weird. Rumor has it that the spiritist told her that the family was being killed by the ghosts of gunshots victims, and only one way to escape them was to mansion full of booby traps. Now, what they're meaning here is like back then they thought, well, if they tricked the ghosts, then make something else, and the ghosts would go in there and stuff like that. Well, here, and I'm gonna probably end up bringing in this part here, in this stuff here. What she had to do is she built all these different mazes in the house, stairways that are dead ends, stairways that go to another room, stairways down the basement, that goes to different rooms. She actually built different stairways, different stairwells, keep the ghosts busy. Thinking why this psychic told her that they would disappear. So I don't know if the psychic was a true psychic or was a one that just wanted money. Now this house, I can't say it is or not, but when I see the documentaries on it, it doesn't even look like it is. It's haunted. It doesn't look like it. So that could be just a theory. Booby traps. The hairless took this advice to heart and set off to building a squirrel estate, in other words, staircases, that would circle, there's some that circled around, some that are straight, some that are crooked. There's a whole bunch of staircases in that place. You wouldn't believe it. That now features doors that open to 12-foot drops. In other words, if you open up a door and you go to try to step, be careful before you go and step. You look. Otherwise, you're going to be all the way down on the ground, hurt or killed. Staircases to nowhere and sealed off rooms. It's a disturbing sight to behold and is said to be haunted by desperate, grieving, stricken woman spirit. Now, with this, like I said, I've watched documentaries on TV about this story. I've, seen as much as there can. Now, this house, it's cool looking, it's neat, but yes, you can get lost in that house. So you got to really pay attention to where you are in what part of the house. But at the same time, there's theories out there saying that there's apparitions and stuff. From my looking at it, and from some other ghosts of people that look at the paranormal, they haven't felt nothing in this house. So, like I said, once again, it could be one of those myths. But this poor woman got talked into by a psychic to build a whole bunch of booby traps upstairs that ghosts can walk right through them. If they wanted to, there was really ghosts in there, but I don't really think there is. Oh, this is another one. 14. This is another one. It's Lizzie Borden Bed and Breakfast and Museum, Fall River, Massachusetts. While the case remains unofficially unsolved to this day, it is believed that on August 4th of 1892, Lizzie Borden beleaguered her, or starts with a B word, Bludgeoned, her parents. So in other words, they're sitting there saying that this Lizzie murdered her, if I'm reading this right, that killed her parents. And I think they were also saying about killing her siblings. We'll find out more in the story, but from the documentary I was reading. Now, supposedly she had killed them with the axe. Up to this day, it's never been proven that she actually killed her parents. They still have no competent evidence that she killed them. She killed them, or her, younger siblings. So they're saying this house is, or this motel that is now a motel or hotel, bed and breakfast. Oh, and museum. Okay, bed and breakfast, museum, and okay. I had to read on the sign there. But anyway, so this was going on for decades. They still, to this day, from when I looked up, they haven't found. They didn't take no fingerprints. They didn't do nothing on it. See who the killer really was. So that's what gets me. That's what gets me. They didn't even look at see the fingerprints or anything like that. They just assumed. Okay, decade later, you can pay a visit to the Borden Spain residence, which now serves as a bed and breakfast where guests can view photos and gruesome crime scene, and stay in the room where Mrs. Borden was murdered. Apparently, these restless spirits can be tried to leave you alone, to keep Mr. Borden at bay. All you've got to do is place a few coins on his bed bureau, according to the New England Today, the news station. So the thing is, and this is the other part, which they didn't put in here, which I'm wondering why. When they said they found the family, they found the father downstairs with the axe. I like this up. They found this father downstairs, left hand side, holding the axe, laying. Apparently, he must have killed himself with, Lizzie Borden, I guess she was up in her room. Mrs. Borden, she was in their bed, her husband's bedroom, in bed. And he had apparently, this is, there's so many stories going around about this. You don't know which one's real and which one's not. But supposedly, he had killed her. But it's like I said, they saw the child. So what they did was automatically assumed the child did it. And they never, Like I said, I'm repeating it. They never checked for fingerprints. None of that. Not like you would think. That is one story that's been up in the mess. Up in the I guess it would Lizzie Borden's would be in the top 10 of theories, on the of what the house could be haunted. I like in the near future, I wonder if they actually do a more testing the grounds and stuff like that, and see if they find something else that's hidden. Something that may give a clue exactly what happened in that house. We all weren't there. Other people weren't there when it happened. So, yeah, that'd be interesting. Okay, number 15, Eastern State Penitentiary, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Now, this jail originally was built in 1829. Way back, way back. And this jail has 3 different hallways, including in the upstairs was like 1 square, 1 square. But down the bottom, 3 different hallways. Now, these criminals, the ones that were less, misdemeanors, they put onto the right. No, they put in the middle. The ones that were like the ones that ready to go down death row, they put into the left side. And the other ones that were like mentally ill or something like that, they put onto the right side and up top. So, and this one, there has been extreme evidence of paranormal. If you look it up, East State Penitentiary, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, you will see all the different captions on this. The Eastern State Penitentiary in Philadelphia was the first to subject its prisoners to solitary confinement beginning in 1829, which is what I said to you, because I know when that was built. Hundreds of yeah, thank you. I'll check it out then. Someone type me quick. Hundreds of prisoners vanished in these conditions. Some even had hoods placed over their heads as punishments for moving around their cells. The prison closed in 1971. The year I was born. I don't know what month or day or anything like that, but it was during my birth year. Tours are now offered year-round for those who would like to visit the souls who have stayed way longer than their original sentence. For an added thrill or chill, head to the calm down, Jen. Slow down. Penitentiary during the fall for its terror behind the walls. One of the top haunted houses in the country. And it is. I mean, see, I have friends that live down there, and I have a whole bunch of friends that live down there. And they had told me they went, walking through it and stuff like that, and they have heard different stories. There's different apparitions. There's an apparition of somebody walking down the upstairs hallway. Up on the on the thing, the grate, in the hallway upstairs. And it would be coming like the towards the middle of the, like what the room was, and it disappeared. Now this ghost they've been trying to debunk this years after years. They keep trying to debunk it because it keeps on appearing. There is no way anybody can debunk that. And you would hear the moaning. You would hear the cell doors close. You would hear the chains. You would actually get to see where they were hung. Because back then they didn't use electric chairs or anything like that. They hung the people up in the room, very top base, up in the attic. They would sit there, and that's where they would do their hangings. And once they passed, they cut the rope and the body dropped down to the basement where it rolled down, where it slid down this metal thing to the final, stop in the basement where they do autopsies and stuff like that. So that's where they were, sent to. But if you really like the scariest things there, that's one place to go see. Okay, here's another one. It's called Devil's Tramping Ground, Catholium County in North Carolina. Okay, I don't know if this has to do with the New Jersey Devil, because this is the first time I'm seeing this. I even looked it up. They don't have too much information about this place on the other sources. So the only information I got is from Best Life News, where they keep a lot of this story, and USA Today. So they're the only ones that did this that I've seen. The devil is lurking in the wooded areas about 50 miles south of Greensburg, North Carolina. According to the local legend, that is, there's a 40-foot clearing in the pine woods of Chatham County that has alleged been devoid of vegetarian for 300 years. Something tells me it's about the New Jersey Devil. Okay, and it's called the Devil's Tramping Ground. It's believed that the devil comes to this patch of dirt each night to plot a evil deeds. Now, they were saying that also with the New Jersey Devil. Everybody's saying, even now they're saying it's a myth. I mean, there's a lot of people that don't believe in the Jersey Devil. They think it's Sasquatch. Well, I don't know if I believe in Sasquatch either, or Bigfoot. I have never seen it. I never seen photos. I never seen different stuff like that. I've never seen it. So mine's like iffy. And I've already done that back when I was with Esau. We already did a thing on Bigfoot and the Jersey Devil. And we came up to the conclusion that everybody thought, okay, this is a myth. So to this day, it's still a myth. What makes this wooded area even creepier is that scientists have tried to understand what plants don't grow here, but haven't found anything wrong with the site with the site soil. That's weird because usually, like if you have a certain kind of spirit or something like that, sometimes they turn like the flowers to a different color, or the ground will go totally black, or stuff like that. You know, I'll tell you what. If I ever go back home just to visit, I'll have to take you guys up to Moonshine Church because that place is creepy. I'll take you there before anything. All right. And this was according to the USA Today affiliate. And while it remains a full proper camping spot, it says that those who stay the entire night are never seen again. If that sounds like interesting or sounds like something you're interested in, you can pitch your tent and wait for the action to begin. So yeah. So from what it's looking like, it could be the grounds of whatever's lurking around there, like the New Jersey Devil or whatever that kind of myths. Who knows? Until we actually get a confirmed picture that shows exactly what that thing is, what that person or what the bee, whatever you want to call it, we'll never know. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. And since it's a Friday, I might go a little bit longer tonight since we got interrupted briefly a little bit. And someone had to make their statement and didn't get very far with it. Okay. Number 17. Hotel Mont Vista, Flagstaff, Arizona. And yes, I do have friends in Arizona. And my husband's family's there. Guests have detailed enormously accounts of paranormal activity at the Hotel Monte Vista in Arizona. In fact, even actors John Wayne was reported to have spotted a ghost here. Now, John Wayne there, he lived out a pretty good life. And I've never known John Wayne to be anyone, mean or not, telling the truth or anything like that. Built in 1927, this hotel remains a fixture of Flagstaff culture, which might explain why other celebrities like Humphrey Bogart, Clark Gable, and Anthony Hopkins have come to see the legendary establishment for themselves. Now these are like real actors from way time, the movie actors like John Wayne was the Long Ranger, and he played like the sheriff in other TV shows. The let me think. Let me think of his other one was. Oh, I can see it in my mind, but I can't think of the name. I can see it in my mind. Oh, I hate when your mind does that to you. You see something, but it's there, but you can't get to Beyonce, Beyonce or something like that. But it was something in that name. And you gotta remember, I mean, it's been a while. I've been through a lot of stuff. I had a stroke, so yeah. So some of my memory stuff is like off. That's why I read from what I read from. It's not all necessary confirmation, but at least gives you the right way to go look if you really want to look deeper into it. For the past few decades, there have been numerous sights of ghosts at the hotel, including the spirits of two women who were thrown from the third floor and who now try to um, they try to put themselves on more or less like what they did back in the olden days, entertainment and stuff like that, as a ghost. So they were not they were basically flirting with the male guests and touching areas they shouldn't have been. Okay. And the phantom bellboy who knocks on guest doors in the middle of the night with the permission of the room service or promises of room service. The hotel is still open for business to this day. So they also have now this area I'm not familiar with. I did hear the story of it, but I'm not familiar with it. But yeah, the bellboy used to come up to the rooms just to make sure, everything's cool, whatever else. But then disappears. But this place encourages anybody that wants to paranormal stuff in there. Okay, sorry about that. Or they say, so grab your paranormal tools and go check it out. Now that I wouldn't mind checking out. That is like one of the good things. Check out. And I think for now, we'll continue this. I'll do this next Wednesday. We'll leave it for Wednesday, just give it a little air breather and do something different. Supported, even with the little here and there stuff. But that's support. Yeah, they're supporting. So I appreciate it. list. Because I haven't done that in a while. Okay, let me go to. All right, this is all your choices. So I'm going to live here. All right, the Hype Club is live. Beat After Beat is live. Prince Fry Girl is live. Tommy C. Trucker Ranger. White Taker Family. Questions Turn Wild. It's called the Aggressive Defense Reacts. That's what it's called. Locale Alpha. JLR Investigates. Locale Glasses Live. Tiny, she's talking about Rosie. Mango News. Well, I think they just finished. MFW, Miss Fucking Wonderful. But this is I guess she. Okay, let's see who else is live. Nicholas Diero. Ohio Fish Rescues. Nerdiconic. Elizabeth Richardson. Two Snarky Girls. Tornado Peggy. GTV, which is G-Man. Which he's about. An airhead. Sorry, G-Man is an airhead. Sore Morbid. Football Nation. JKB. Bomberto. Team Swifty. The Young Turks. Storm Chaser Vince Wallace. Savannah Bananas. The Burnt Peanut. I wonder if that's burnt toast. No, it's not burnt toast. All right, the China Show. Evening Freiburger. Storm Running Mia. Extensions. The Soup. And that is all that is live on my stuff. People you can go to. Go have fun. Sure, guys. Oh, wait. When it wants to go.
Remember moments shared through the day. Monday, Wednesday, Friday's glow. from 4 p.m. Spread the smiles. Don't know when they might need to stay. Love and hugs till next stream. Don't miss a note or a single dream. Hit that like and share the joy for every girl and boy. Stay kind, lend a hand, always be there, make a stand. We have no we always need love and hugs till next stream. Don't miss a note or a single dream. Hit that light and shine for every girl and boy. Love and hugs till next stream. Don't miss a note or a single dream. Hit that like and share the joy. Be there in time for every girl and boy. Every girl and boy. Every girl and
Good night, everybody. Love and hugs. Till the next time I see. Till the next time. See you on the flip side.